Welcome back, everybody, to the House of Cards. We are on episode number 82, and today we're going to be talking about trades. Yes, one of the oldest, most cherished parts of the hobby is trading. Maybe when you're young, you traded cards with your friends. It wasn't about value or monetary comping or anything like that. It was about, hey, these are the players I like, and I want to trade you for the players that you like. And I think that's the kind of one of the more nostalgic, beautiful parts of the hobby is trading. And as we get more into this as a dealer like I am, or as a like an investor like a lot of people are, trading becomes a lot more strategic, and it becomes a lot more, I guess you have to be mindful of speculating, be mindful of values and all the different components that go into it. So when I'm trading, there's a lot of things that go through my mind, right? Not everything that walks up to the table is something that you would even thought about or even sought after, because a lot of the times people will come up with cards and just say, hey, are you interested in doing trades? They show you what they got, and maybe there's something in there that sparks your interest, maybe there's not. But a lot of the times what sparks your interest are things that you may not have ever thought about or have actively seeked out at any point. And that's exactly what happened with a lot of these trades that came across my table during this last show. So in this episode, I want to share with you 4 of the trades that I did during the show and kind of my mindset behind it, and also show you kind of, like where I was in terms of comping and monetary value and making sure the trade felt good on both sides, because it needs to be a win-win for everybody, for everyone to be happy. Okay, so that's what we're getting into today. And before we jump in, let's go ahead and do the usual stuff. If you haven't subscribed yet, great time to do it now. Really appreciate it. Like the video if you enjoy it at the end there. And also really want to encourage comments, especially on this video, because trades have a lot of kind of personal feelings to it. And I think a lot of people, as a voyeur of my trades, I'd love to hear what you guys thought, if I made a good trade or a bad trade. Either way, I'd love to hear it. These are my personal choices, and doesn't mean it would be the same thing that everyone else would do. So please let me know in the comments below how I did, and we'll get into it right now. Okay, and this trade here, so I was moving a 2009-10 Upper Deck Steph Curry PSA 9. This gentleman wanted to get a Steph Curry rookie, which this was my only one, so I did have a little bit of a soft spot for it, but I was interested in what this guy came up to the table with, so this is what we ended up getting. So I got this 2012-13 Select, so first year Select LeBron James on BGS 9.5. Of course, it doesn't have subgrade, so I wasn't like super stoked about this, but I like this out of all the other stuff he had. And this is the one I liked a lot. This is a Optic, so 2000 and what is this, 19 Optic, and this was baseball Optic. So again, it's a Panini product, so there's not licensing. I get it, but it's Fernando Tatis Jr. on-card autograph, beautiful autograph too. It's the rated prospect, so it's kind of similar to a rated rookie, right? So I think it had a lot of good things going. I know it doesn't have the logos and all this stuff that people like, but I know there's still a market for these cards, and for the price you can get for one of these versus, like, say, a first Bowman autograph, it's a fraction. So I really like this card. I inspected it because he had it raw. It was super good condition. So I'm definitely going to probably send that into grade. So let's look here at what the Steph is doing. So I had a value of $350 on the Steph rookie. A couple things about the card that I'll admit I wasn't like super attached to. Well, the first thing is he's in his college uniform. So, to me, that's not like the most attractive thing. However, it is what it is. It's still an Upper Deck card. So it's a legit brand with Steph Curry. It says star rookie, so that's cool. But so I had $350 pinned on it. As you can see here, the pricing was around, $350. So I think the show was around August 20 something. So the most recent comp at the time was $350 here, kind of dips a little, and then, comes back up, and then it kind of stays around there. So I think it's a fair price. This is the most recent sale, $367. So it hasn't really changed much over the, the course of time here. So, $350 in trade. So the way we valued these was, I think we were talking about 250 and 100 if I remember correctly. Let me see if I could pull up the LeBron, because I think the LeBron is a little bit more common sale than the Fernando is, just because the Fernando is kind of a interesting set. But let's see here. So LeBron BGS 9.5. Okay, so here's a comp. Here's another comp. These do have subgrades, so kind of assume that they're a little bit higher, but 182, 125, I mean, pop 41, that's a nice low pop. So a nice card. You know, I like the fact that it's the first year of Select, so you know the print runs are going to be low. You know, it's LeBron, you can't really go wrong with that. So anyways, about $125 in value. And then this for Tatis, which again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this, but let's try anyways, just for fun, right? 2019 Optic, Fernando Tatis Jr. And we'll probably put auto. There we go. Okay, so as you can see here, there's some graded copies, and just a raw copy, but the centering is really poor. Let's see here. There we go. So this one went August 9th, sold for about $200, and this one looks pretty clean in the photos. Definitely similar to the one I have for sure. I think that's definitely probably a close comp at about $200. I mean, here you go. This one went for $300. And I think the ones that dipped might have been during the time he was on the injured list. And since he just got back, you know, August 7th here, that's probably close to when he came back. But $300, $200 August 9th. So, you know, we gave it about a $250 value. So, I mean, here's a PSA 9 that went for about $200, which, again, probably a little bit low. But anyway, so basically about about 125 and about $250 value. So we did that, you know, for the Steph, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And I get it. Steph Curry, GOAT, right? You know, definitely up there, one of the best to ever do it. I get it. However, you know, my detractions were it was a upper deck, not, you know, super high end card. You know, he's in his college jersey, and you know, I just wasn't like jumping out. If it was like the tops or something along those lines, you know, I might have had a little bit more love for it, but you know, it is what it is. So anyways, I gave him the Steph Curry and I added in $20 just to kind of make the deal a little bit more even, and we got it done. So that was that trade. All right, let's talk about this next trade. So I had a 2012 Contenders Russell Wilson auto. This is the base sort of Contenders card for Wilson. I purchased it raw and I sent it in for grading. Unfortunately, it came back a PSA 8, which is a very, very actual low grade for this card. Majority of these are 9s and 10s in PSA, and then 9.5s and 9s in BGS. So 8s are actually pretty rare to get. So definitely was disappointed in that score. However, you know, it is what it is. So during the last show, I had a gentleman come up and he PC'd Russell just like I do, and he needed the Contenders card for his collection. In return, he knew that I was a big soccer guy, so we started looking into a trade for a card that he brought, which was this one right here. So this is a gorgeous card. This is the Obsidian, so 2020 Obsidian. This is Jude Bellingham's rookie card. You can see the logo up there. However, this is the etched white, what's it called? The white, sorry, I always get these mixed up. White Pulsar. So very rare. You see here, it's number 211. So very, low number, Jude Bellingham, short printed rookie card. So the value on this, I did look it up. It's floating right around the same price point that I had the Russell at, around $900 roughly. Raw this was. So I figured, you know, while I was giving away, you know, someone from my PC, obviously a very established quarterback, probably going to go down, you know, as one of the greats when it's all said and done. And it was graded, even though it was an 8, it was still graded for a raw, you know, real speculative rookie in soccer, which of course, you know, isn't as established as American football when it comes to, you know, the kind of the collectors in the market. However, the upside, I think, in this card, in my opinion, was a lot higher. You had a numbered card, short printed, highly, followed rookie. Just recently got, a big trade. So I just kind of felt like the opportunity was higher here than the Russell, which was already pretty much, capped out as a PSA 8 at the price point that, I gave it. Granted, he could have a big year. That card might go up a little bit. It makes sense. But I think this card, the upside is a lot higher because A, it wasn't graded yet, so you have that natural upside from going from raw to graded, but also the fact that it's a highly speculative rookie that a lot of people are into right now. So I saw both sides of it. I'm typically lean more towards collecting the GOATs and staying away from too much speculation, but in this case, I wasn't that attached to the Russell because it was an 8. I would love to have a higher grade for my PC. If that was a 9 or a 10, probably definitely wouldn't have done it. Obviously, the values would have changed, but just overall, I don't think I would have let that go as easily, had it been a higher grade. So what I plan on doing now is taking this card, sending it to PSA on a $200 express level, getting it back. At that point, I'll be about, 1,100 into it. However, if that comes back as a 9, it'll definitely, my money will still be safe, and I'll probably, have $100, $200 upside on it. If it comes back a 10, though, you could be thinking, this could be upwards of a $3,000 card. So there you go. That's kind of my strategy on this. It was risky, but I do think that it's worth the risk. I did recently get back an Obsidian card in a 10 that I sent in personally. So I know they're a little bit harder to grade because they are slightly thicker. However, I looked at this copy. It was really clean. The surface looked great. The centering looks solid. So, again, you're just kind of at the mercy of PSA and what they decide. But I think it's a 10. However, if I'm wrong, I don't really lose much because the card value will still be, about what I paid for it and plus grading. So I think overall I'm in a good spot. I'm going to send this in. Hopefully I'll have good results here, in a few weeks or whenever it comes back, and I can share that with you guys. So there you go. That's kind of my strategy around this trade. I hope that made sense. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this below in the comments. All right, this next trade was probably one of the higher value trades that I did during this show. It kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really expecting to do this trade, but a guy and his dad came up, and they're really interested in getting more into soccer, and they noticed I had a pretty good Kylian Mbappe selection, and they were specifically fixated on the 2018 Prism World Cup Silver PSA 9 that I had there. They thought that'd be a good entry point to get into soccer, and they started talking about trade because I don't think they're quite ready to pay the price tag in full cash. So they pulled out a card which I was very interested in, and it is this right here. So it's a 1986 Flier sticker, Michael Jordan. So this is from the iconic 86 Flier set. This one got a PSA 7, but the ST, as you see there, means there's a stain. But what most people know, if they understand these stickers, is that these stickers, when they came in the packs, they're always on the back. So they always got wax from the wax pack on the back of the sticker. It's just kind of a known thing. So while there's not a stain per se, it's really hard to see in the light, but you can see the little light wax that's on here, which is, again, super common for this card. Literally, if you don't have wax on your card, it pretty much means that you wiped it down and got it off. But people that just submitted these straight without, doing any sort of cleaning or anything of the card, all of them would have come back with the stain just because of that wax. So it's not, it's not uncommon is what I'm trying to say. So I wasn't like turned off by that. However, I needed to kind of make sure the values were there and everything made sense. So this card is very volatile. It's the market, goes up and down and all around on this card. So I'll show you here. I did pull up some comps, some recent eBay comps that I think are at least kind of, within the scope of, kind of where I was looking at while we were doing the deal, because this was, a couple weeks ago at the show. So these comps, while they seem a little bit old now, they're actually, were pretty spot on when we did it. So, you'll see here, the most recent comp right here is July 22nd. That was for about $1,400. However, you can see the card fluctuates a lot. I mean, it's all over the board. It's just 1,100, 1,000, 900, 1,000. So, anyways, long story short is, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, gave him the most recent comp, and it was a $1,400 comp. My Kylian Mbappe, I had it price tagged at $1,200. And we'll see here, World Cup Prism Silver Kylian Mbappe, and mine was a PSA 9. So of course, and you can kind of see comps here. So recent comp, this was of course after the fact, was about 1,100. But around this time, which is about when the show was going on, it was comping at about 925. So this, again, this card is all over the board, 900, who knows what the actual sale was, 1,000. So as you can see, it's pretty comparable, but at the time, this was closer to 900, and this one did have a recent $1,400 comp on it. So, I kind of looked at it in a couple of terms, Mbappe, he's in his third or fourth season. He's, again, great player. Definitely one of the top players in the world. The question is, how's his career going to go year 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Is he still going to be the guy? Is he going to go down as one of the best in history? Whereas Michael Jordan, we already know the answer to that question, right? We already know he's the GOAT to many, if not one of the GOATs. And, this is the 86 Flier set. This does have a semi-high pop. It's about 1,200. So it's not like it's a super rare card. However, I think the condition is decent. I think in my mind, I was looking at it more like, I don't have any Jordan rookies per se. This is technically a Jordan rookie card. So, and this is an Mbappe, basically a third year card, because his true rookie was 16, 17, and this is 18 basically. So I kind of looked at it like that. I said, my port of entry on the Mbappe was obviously lower because I graded it myself and everything else. So I kind of looked at it like that, and I saw this as a little bit more of a legacy hold, and I decided to make the trade. So I gave him the Mbappe plus $100 cash for the Jordan. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This one I was a little bit on the fence on. I could have gone either way. I definitely, I'm excited to have a Jordan rookie technically in my collection now, but and Mbappe Silver is a nice card too, so definitely a very liquid card too. So anyways, there you go. There's that trade. All right, let's talk about this next trade here. So I'm a big Russell Wilson PC guy. I have a lot of Russell Wilson cards. I've gone through quite a few of his 2012 Topps Chrome cards, specifically his color cards. And at the time, I had a 9.5 pink that I had available to sell. I think I had a price tag of $1,000 on it, and it was a very nice card. It was a BGS 9.5, so great grade. However, the card didn't have subgrades, which, is a little bit of a detractor. It usually takes about 10% off of the value of a regular 9.5 with subgrades. But beautiful card. It's a numbered card. I think highly sought after. Russell Wilson obviously is one of the top 5 quarterbacks right now, definitely in the league. And, again, he's won a Super Bowl, blah, blah. His legacy set, first ballot Hall of Famer, all that. So a guy came up, he wanted to get into some Russell Wilson. And, I was like, well, I'm not like actively trying to get rid of it. But, if you have a good offer or something, we could talk. So he pulled out this card, and he wanted to do a trade. And I, at the time, didn't have much Dak. I was definitely, not carrying a lot of Dak at all. So I have a lot of kind of feelings that Dak's going to have a big year. He's coming off an injury, obviously. I know that's a concern for a lot of people. His ankle got pretty busted last year. I actually watched that game live, and all the feelings of seeing that happen live, and how bad I felt for Dak, because you could tell he was just crushed. But regardless, at the time he went down, he was killing it. He was definitely one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I think him and Russell were kind of head to head for who is, the most yardage and touchdowns and all that stuff, but of course when Dak gets hurt, that all goes away. But I feel like this season, I think Dallas got probably the strongest team they've had in years. Plus, you know, I think the hype of Dak coming back and sort of the emotional rebound from him, you know, going out in such a horrific injury last year, it's, you know, it's a real good storyline for the season. Also, they're on HBO's Hard Knocks this year, which is a highly followed show. And the Dallas Cowboys are obviously probably the most televised team, I would say, of all football teams. So Dak just, you know, he's just always got a lot of eyeballs on him, whether you're a Cowboys fan or not. I just felt like he's a good hobby investment just because of the amount of attention he gets. So we decided to do this deal here. I had the Russell listed at 1,000. I wasn't into it for that much. I didn't grade it. I did buy it graded. However, I bought it for a pretty good price. And I got to remember how much I paid for it. Let me see if I can find it real quick here, because I think this will definitely give you more insight into my reason why I wasn't mad about doing this deal. Even though I do hold Russell in higher regards than Dak, but when you have a card that you're only into for X, yeah, so I was into the pink out of $399, BGS 9.5 for $600. So the fact that I was able to put a $1,000 price tag on it, get that in trade value, so he gave me this plus $200 cash to make the trade happen. So I felt like that was a pretty good deal. This Dak card currently is selling. Let's take a look here what we can pull up for recent comps. And then that way you guys will get a better idea that I actually have something, you know, like I felt like I had a good angle on this one because, you know, I was only into the card $600, plus I didn't, you know, I wasn't like that attached to the card because I do have multiple Russell Wilson rookie card, Chrome cards, so I didn't feel like that was, you know, like my last one or my only one. So here we go. Let's pull up Dak right here. Let's look at recent sales just to kind of get an idea of what these are going for. I think there's a lot of hype right now. Obviously, the season is just starting, so, you know, you got to consider some of that. But you can see one here sold for $757. That was an older slab, so that probably brought the price down a smidge. But look right here. I mean, just 2 days ago, this went for almost $1,000. So this is the same. Oh, 757, 767. Okay. So they're kind of all over the place. 800. So when we were coming up with trade value, I think 800 was a number we landed on. But I mean, look at that. I mean, this one sold 5 days ago for $1,200. So again, these cards, you know, they kind of bounce all around. And I think, you know, there's another one for $1,200. So anyways, a card I was into for $600, traded it, and I got this card plus $200 cash. So my feeling is I could probably put this up right now, sell somewhere between $800 to $1,000. Plus I got $200 cash. So I think that was a pretty good deal on my end. You know, again, I think obviously the Russell being a numbered card and, you know, has a little bit more, I guess you say, excitement around it in that terms because it is numbered and it's more rare. But I mean, you know, this Dak is super liquid. It's from, you know, it's Prism, highly sought after set. So yeah, overall, I think this trade went well. I think I made out pretty good, and that was why I made this trade. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed my first ever trade video, I guess we'll call it. Just trying to do some different things to kind of show a little bit more perspective into what I do on a day-to-day basis as far as my sports cards go. And, you know, I'll be dealing at multiple shows coming up here over the next few months. So I'm excited to maybe do some more of these videos where I can kind of go over what deals I made and how they played out at these card shows that I'm at and dealing at. So anyways, if you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate a thumbs up or a like. That would be great. If you still haven't yet subscribed, now's the time. Hit the subscribe button. And again, please leave any comments of your thoughts or you know, just anything. Just tell me how I did. I'd love to hear a little bit more from your perspective. Nothing is bad commenting because I like to hear it if it's positive or negative. So please drop a comment below. All right, guys. Well, I will leave it there, and we will see you on the next one. Until then, peace.